Hello, everybody. This is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and it's been a while since I've worked on the show, but between last night, I got all the rest of the episodes for In Another World with my smartphone, all edited and rendered and everything, so I could upload them. I would just need to record the reviews, obviously. So, this is going to be my review for In Another World with my smartphone, episodes 7 through 9. And to be completely honest with you guys, I've forgotten just about everybody's name except Toya's. That's what happens when I don't check on the show. Oh my god. I am very tempted to show this show to my fiance. Because we have gotten up to episode 14, I think. 15? Something like that. With Dr. Stone. And I am off from work on Sunday. So I should be able to show him more. I will make sure that if we do, that we finish season 1 and go on to season 2. And if we finish season 1, then I'm going to try and get him to show him this show, obviously. Because he and I both like isekais. I don't know why. I just like isekais. But I do wish they would come out with more reverse harems, because the only really good ones that are out there are Akatsuki no Yona, Ouran High School Host Club, sort of, because it's not technically a reverse harem. Any others? If anybody can come up with any good ones, that'd be great. But, yeah. I have been listening to so many My Hero Academia ASMRs, it's not even funny. And I found out something while listening to some of them. They turned me on. And I don't know why. Good God. I do know that one of the couple of Shigaraki ones that I've listened to was only like maybe 2 out of them. The person who did it did a very, very good job on imitating his voice, because it sounds just like him. I'm like, good lord. And it's not even the voice actor, I think, who does it. But, yeah, anyway, let's see. In Another World with my smartphone. There's a lot to cover in these 3 episodes. Shoot. Toya ends up going against, the King of Mistmead. And, in a duel. And guess what the first thing he does is when the duel starts? Slip. Which they have to essentially say that that's off limits, because, yeah, it essentially doesn't even allow for a match to start, because as soon as he used slip, the guy was down and he could, take the win. So that, yeah, that doesn't even really allow for the fight to happen. And it turns out that Toya can learn essentially any magic as long as he sees it happen. Because the guy has a no magic spell called Excel, which essentially allows him to disappear and go really fast. Like, I guess you could say, like, how fast Goku and the others are so far in Dragon Ball Super, for example. Like, how fast they move. Not as fast, obviously, but, still fast enough to where you can't see anything. And Toya used that against him. And won the match. With the combining Excel and Boost. So, they end up attending a party, and we see that he can actually use magic to create a picture that he takes with his phone using the drawing spell. Wow. That has a potential for a business of its own, to be completely honest with you guys. All he would have to do would be to take a picture of somebody and make it a drawing, and he could sell it to a customer, essentially. But, yeah, it actually could be a business all its own. Anyway, ignore that. My nephews are here for a bit, while my sister goes to take care of a few things and has a doctor's appointment. Turns out, she lost the baby. And it wasn't even that far that she even found that she was pregnant, so it's not really. She wasn't that far along, really. I'm kind of relieved, to be honest, on that, because with my luck, I'd have to deal with the baby again, and I just got done raising 2 babies, my nephews. So yeah, I'm sick and tired of that. At least for the moment. Whether that ends up applying to my own kids remains to be seen, because my fiance does want kids. If we have kids, it's what it is. What it is. But it will be whether it be biological or adoption or whatever. It'll happen eventually, but if we keep on waiting, it might get to the point where we might not be able to biologically have kids of our own. Because I am going to be 33 this year. He's going to be 32. So, yeah, it's going to be... We keep waiting like this, we might not be able to have kids by our own. We might have to adopt, which I wouldn't mind. Anyway, later, during the party, he ends up... Toya ends up meeting one of the elder fairies, Lean, and he learns another new spell, essentially the program spell, which is another no magic. And she tries to make him her apprentice. Obviously, he's like, nope, I'm out. And he runs off. And later, Toya ends up creating... Actually, I think bicycles are later. First, he ends up creating guns and bullets. They're rubber bullets, I think. But they are bullets. So he has brought guns into this world. I can understand why, considering there might be times where he might not be able to use all his spells. Like during his fight with the king, he wasn't able to use a couple of his spells because he was too slow on casting them. And if you're going up against a speedy opponent, you're going to have a different way of dealing with things, essentially. However, I don't know why he had to pick guns of all things. Then again, it's probably better than some of the other things he could have created, to be completely honest. And he ends up making a gun for the 2 girls. I can't remember what their names are. The one he's engaged to. And I think the younger of the twins, or the shorter of the twins. Anyway, later, we find out that the knight who came with them has a crush on on Olga, the lady who was framed for poisoning the king. And they end up spying on their date, which I'm like, really? I know you want to know what's going on, but they're going to catch you if you're not careful. And they actually end up running into the king, who's out there in disguise, just, having a walk around. And the funny thing is that they end up running into some trouble, or the knight ends up running into some trouble, and they go to assist him wearing masks, but obviously the guy can tell it's them because it's Toya still wearing his coat and his voice. And the king just is like, excel, and leaves. I'm like, you coward! And Toya tries to do the same thing, but he wasn't fast enough. Anyway, he gets the guy to confess that he wants to date Olga, because Olga's right behind the guy, and he says it, and it turns out that she agrees. She wants to date him too, so those 2 are a couple now. Afterwards, we find out the 2 maids who were, helping them at their home are actually following them to keep an eye on the princess to make sure, nothing's wrong, nothing's going on. And Toya, is fine with this. Because, the more the merrier when it comes to having people who could fight. And he actually ends up helping an orphan, and gets her a job at the house. Dang it, what was her name? Renee? I think it's what her name was. And like I said, it turns out to be a girl because it looks like a little boy. But it turns out to be Renee, a girl. And he gets her a job there at the mansion as a maid. Yay! So now she has a way to feed herself, to get money, and everything. And later, he ends up making bicycles, and it is hilarious watching them ride the bicycles. They are super competitive, and it just looks so fun watching them ride bikes. And he made regular bicycles. He didn't make like a mountain bike. He made a bicycle with a basket and everything for all of them, and they don't seem to care. But then again, they'd never seen a regular bike. They're not essentially from our world, so they wouldn't know. And shoot, what happens in this episode? I think that was actually in this episode. Later on, we find out that Lean, found where they are, obviously. And the girl who was helping out with the king, I think the magic user, the one with the green hair, she actually was Lean's apprentice. And is afraid of her teacher. And it turns out that the creature they fought with the weird glowing rock for a power source way back when, apparently those are known as Fae, something like that, and they are obviously not of this world. What they actually are, we still remain to be seen. However, they end up actually going to shoot. I don't remember her name either. The one with the with the regular sword, and the kimono and everything, the Oriental-looking girl. They head to her country because they have some issues going on there, and also they need to go there anyway to find some ruins. Turns out, they're kind of at war at the moment, and her brother and father are helping out. Thanks to Toya's magic, however, they can get there easy, and not only that, take out the enemy in a blink of an eye because of using the multiple spell and his phone and the map and just aiming essentially a light magic spell, and boom, all the enemies go down. And they end up making their way to the enemy fortress or the enemy camp or whatever, and Lean turns them invisible and is like, I think she's a big perv and a masochist at that, because she ends up groping the other girl that's with them to help them with this, and claiming that Toya's the one who's doing it, obviously, and obviously he's not, and he has to smack her on the back of the head to make her stop. And she gets all excited when he tells her that he's gonna smack her if she doesn't stop, and she's like, smack me where? And I'm like, oh, really, girl? Good lord. Anyway, they make their way inside and free the people that are in the prison cells in the dungeon area. And it turns out the guy who's responsible for all this has some weird object that he's using to control all the dead, essentially. And Toya shoots the mask off of the general that they're trying to help because the others don't want to hurt him, obviously, because that's, their boss. But, yeah, they have to do it. So he shoots the mask off and destroys it. And when the guy reveals that he's got the object in his eye, he uses that report, grabs it, and they destroy it. Okay, I'll be in there in a sec. Anyway, all sorts of stuff have been happening. I'll see you guys next time.